All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Subpar with Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. And guess what, guys? We are back with our friends at Fanatics Sportsbook, and we wanted to tell you about their offer for new customers, the Game Day Guarantee. Every single football game day now until October, new customers get up to $100 back in fan cash if your football bet loses. Guaranteed. And new customers also can bet $10 to get $100 in fan cash. If you're betting with Fanatics Sportsbook, you're either winning or winning money back in fan cash. Your old sportsbook, they're out for the season. Go check it out yourself. Download the app, Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app. All right, Sleaze, coming off a rather special week on the PGA Tour, I would say. The Pro Tour Championship, where 10 of the 12 U.S. Ryder Cup members teed it up. And, well, I feel like we say this a lot, but surprise, surprise, Scotty Sheffler does it again.
Yep. We could just run back any of the previous 5 wins of this episode. Like we're running out of stuff to say, like we talked about. By the way, I thought after like the 12th hole, Ben Griffin got that beautiful kick, ball was head straight to the penalty area, the 7-wood, cart path, trees, back in play. I was like, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one where a guy comes up and just sneaks up and passes Scotty. Not the case, but also very nice to see Ben Griffin play really good golf. I think not that he needed it, but I think if he'd gone out and played poorly this week, right, and finished back in the pack or something like that, people are like, see, I told you, he should have picked somebody else or, went another way, or Keegan, you should have been playing. Nice to see him play. But, dude, Scotty on a week where it would be really easy to give him a free pass if he finished 12th or something, God forbid, and be like, oh, he's getting ready for the Ryder Cup. This is kind of just prep, he wouldn't be playing this otherwise. And yet he just goes out and wins again.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ben Griffin. I mean, it was his tournament, I thought. He had the three putt on 14. He bounces back after a bad chip on the par 5 15th and made about a 15-footer to get within one of Scotty. Really good shot at 16, 17, seemed a little juiced up. Hit a good putt, just didn't go in. And then 18, the 3-putt for par, missed the short one. On 14, he blocked the 6-footer. And then on 18, he pulled it a little left. I will say, it's impressive what he's doing. I mean, he's won 2 times, very easily could have had his third. But those are the putts the stars make. The big-time players make when you have to. I was a little surprised to see him miss that, considering how well he's played all year. This is 11th top 10. But the little short putt concerned me a little bit. But, man, what a player he's turned into. You heard Roger Maltby say it on the broadcast multiple times. The man doesn't lack confidence. And anyone that knows him, they'll tell you the same thing. I mean, to go from where he was 4 years ago to now one of the best players in the world, going toe-to-toe with Scotty Sheffler, you got to tip your cap to him, man. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, that first miss, I think on 16, the shorty one, Scotty Sheffler had a similar putt to that. That felt like a misread. It looked like he got fooled on that one. The one on 18 was definitely a pull. There must be some weird stuff around that pin location on 18, because we've seen between that Ben Griffin. I mean, that wasn't a kick-in by any means, but, missing that putt, and then you just go back a couple years, Danny Willett with one of the craziest finishes of all time, 3 feet, 3 putts, Max Homa ends up winning. Maybe there's something weird there, but the drive he hit, the second shot he hit, I was just happy to see him play well. Like I said, not that he needed it, but just to justify that pick, let's put it all to bed. There's only a couple guys. I think we had 4 of our guys in the top 10. JJ Spawn played great, by the way. He did not putt well. He could have easily been right there with a chance to win that golf tournament. The only 2 that were kind of, I guess if you want to, poke holes in anything, Colin Morikawa, 43rd. He got a lot of talk about his recent form leading in, and then JT, 69th with that tough final round. Any concern on either of those guys or anyone on the U.S. side?
No, I mean, look, most of these guys have had a few weeks off since the Tour Championship. Go out there, knock a little rust off. I mean, they all made the cut, which is, I know it's nothing to brag about when you're talking about those 10 guys. But listen, they were there, knocked some competitive rust off. Now they got a week at home to figure out what they needed to work on, what they saw in their game under tournament conditions, and they get out and they get ready to go at the Ryder Cup. I love this move of having them play this week before. And no, I'm not concerned. These guys are so good, they'll go make some little tweaks here and there this coming week, and I think they're going to be very much ready to go come Bethpage.
Doesn't it seem weird, it's such common sense to be like, hey, we're getting ready for the Ryder Cup. Guys should play. maybe within a month leading up to this. Whereas last time, not only did they not play, but we flew over there, scouted the place, quote unquote. They changed the golf course completely by the time we get back. Come back, everyone regroup, go do your thing. Some guys go to the West Coast, and then let's fly back. Whereas like European right now, Colt, they flew in yesterday to New York. They're going to play 9 on Monday, 18 on Tuesday, have a dinner. Everyone go your separate ways. Most guys will stay on the East Coast.
Everyone's staying in the United States.
My point. Everyone's staying in the United States. I think everyone is staying on the East Coast. Granted, it's a little easier when most of these guys live here and have homes than it is for the U.S. to go do the same thing. But his only rule was, I don't care what you do, see your teachers, play, do whatever. You just don't fly back to Europe and then fly home. Like, you can't go home. Like, stay over here. So the one thing that he's mandating they don't do, we opted to do. And they're over here 2 weeks before the thing starts, so they can just kind of get acclimated. Even though they were only in Europe for a week.
You know how I feel about Keegan. I love the guy. He's going to make a great captain. But the fact that we're making a massive deal, they're like, this is genius that we're playing 2 weeks before the Ryder Cup. I'm like, no, this is common sense. This is what we should do. There's at no point should you ever take off 4 to 5 weeks before the biggest event in your sport. You just don't do it. You don't take 4 or 5 weeks off before a major championship. You damn sure aren't going to do it before the Ryder Cup. I love that he made him play. Xander obviously got a pass because he had a little baby that's 10 days old. Bryson, different circumstance. But the other part, I mean, I don't even think Keegan should have had to be like, hey, guys, I want y'all to play this.
Yeah.
All the guys should have been like, hey, guess what we're going to do? We're going to go play the Pro Tour out in Napa and knock some rust off and get ready to go 2 weeks before the Ryder Cup.
It's literally the most common. It's funny that it's like even getting attention because, like you said, Masters. Hey, how are you getting ready for the Masters? I'm going to not play for about a month, and then I'm going to just show up and hopefully I have it. Like it's crazy world, but just all the things, I feel like we're in a much better place. It could all be out the window. Does it mean we're going to all go play great because they played Napa? No. Does it mean they would have played terrible if they didn't play Napa? No. But at least I think we're giving ourselves a way better chance and putting ourselves in a position to perform better, whereas last time in Rome, and this isn't Monday morning quarterback, by the way. We talked about this prior to last year's Ryder Cup. Like, nobody's played. Why did we go over there and then fly back and then fly back over again? And why did we get there so soon before the tournament started? You know, I feel like we fixed a lot of it, but I'm ready for it. Oh, by the way, did you see that Europe got these like headphones that you can program to heckle you, basically?
Yeah, virtual reality.
Yeah, and they said like you could make it say whatever you. We need to invest in some of these. These things sound sick.
From what I've seen, you can play Bethpage with them, and so you can set the crowd to be how you want and everything. Actually got a little couple videos last night from our good friend Mike Commodore and Connor Trias, who were messing around with some virtual reality. I think it was slightly different programming, but it looks like I've never put one on before, but it looks like they're rather entertaining.
And you can program, like they're asking Rory, like, what can you make it say? He's like, dude, like anything. You can't even repeat it. So these things sound sick. I need to get some for the squad. Can't be any worse than what goes through my mind though before I step over a shot. And the most, I think I've heard it all before. Last thing on Napa, Jackson Kovven. How about the kid, eh?
You picked a winner. You picked him top 20. Why didn't you pick him top 5? Made some real money.
I know, because I'm an idiot. But I'll take any winning bet I can get right now. But, dude, final group Sunday looked like he'd been there a million times. What's that, his 4th straight top 11 on the PGA Tour?
I believe 5th. I believe he has 4 straight top 10s. His other one was 11th.
Yeah, I think it's 3 and then 3 top 10s and 11. It's 4, and he's been remarkable. But, I mean, dude, what do you think? Like, he's elected to go back to Auburn. I think it's a great move. It's all waiting for him when he gets done.
Yeah, it's going to be there, but he's playing some rather nice golf right now. If he obviously, I don't know how it all works with PGA Tour U. I think with PGA Tour U, you have to wait until after the NCAAs to turn pro. Like, he can't just say, hey, I'm turning pro right now. I don't think. I could be wrong about that. But, like, if you can turn pro at the start of the year, in January, and get the full season to go out there and play, I think that'd be a different deal. But I think there's something, and I'm sure we'll get some people out there to correct me if I am wrong. I don't doubt that. But I think you have to wait till after NCAAs. But he's going, man. I saw Justin Ray said in his last 4 starts or whatever, he'd made $930,000.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, but he's also making a lot of money with NIL. I mean, the man's logoed up like Ricky Bobby out there. He's not lacking for NIL money right now.
Yeah, he ain't playing for free. And by the way, every one of these top 10s and good finishes he has that he stacks up is just going to make him earn more and more when he eventually does turn pro. So there are worse things, especially when you look at, beginning of the year, this year, when my bold prediction was Luke Clanton on the Ryder Cup team, he was doing really similar stuff to what Jackson Kovven's doing. And it's just, man, sometimes it's harder when you get out there and it's a job and you're by yourself and you're traveling and you're on the road. You don't have friends. You're the youngest guy. Everyone else got kids and a family. Like, it's just a different world out there when they do turn pro.
Yeah, well, they asked him, like, how was the celebration after winning the Walker Cup? And he's like, well, most of us are underage, so we didn't do a whole lot. But yeah, it's impressive, man. So you're saying your bold prediction is going to be Jackson Kovven on the President's Cup team?
Correct. You read my mind. Give me a few months to confirm that. But okay. Yeah, I'm warm with those bold predictions.
All right. Well, I definitely want to give some love to Alex Norin, who won the BMW PGA Championship over at Wentworth, which is the DP World Tour's flagship event. Second time he's won it, but won in a playoff. Awesome. I love this guy. He is such a nice dude. Nobody works harder at the game. He has turned his game completely around. He was in a funk there for a while. This guy who's played on past Ryder Cup teams. Now he's a vice captain, and he just kicked the shit out of all the European Tour players that are over there, which was awesome to see. I love that he walked into the room, and all the players are sitting there waiting to get on the plane, and here comes the vice captain who's last because he just won the tournament.
You suck. You suck.
Yeah.
You suck.
So
I'm better than you.
You're going to be a captain. I'm going to play now.
Yeah. That was cool to see. They got some guys playing really well over there, too. But, yeah, Norin getting it done, going to be over here for the Ryder Cup. Cool deal. I mean, dude, he's one of those guys. I can remember playing with him in college. He was a stud. And he's one of those guys, like, there's a few of them that just, like, never really lost it, never had bad stretches, never went through, like, crazy slumps. He's just been good from the time I met him in college throughout. He's a monster. Like a quiet, kind of a maybe slightly underappreciated monster long career.
12 wins on DP World Tour. Hasn't won on the PGA Tour. Has come close so many times. By the way, I played with him in my last ever PGA Tour event, Phoenix Open. Him and Adam Hadwin, two of the nicest guys out there, but always loved Alex, man. We need to get him on the pod. He's a shy, quiet guy, but yeah, man, he's a stud. He was a stud at Oklahoma State, but big fan of his.
The first time I played with him was at Houston, the 36-hole day, and he hit at minimum, I think it was the first round I played with him, he hit 2 flag sticks on the opening 18. I was like,
maybe aim left or right.
Maybe, Alex. Yeah. Wasn't drawing it, by the way. Yeah. Not drawing it.
He does it, but man, like I said, big fan of his. Congratulations to him on his second win. Also, I want to give some love real quick because, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube, I'm not in the studio. I'm actually outside of Roanoke, Virginia, Sleaze. Do you know the place at all?
I've not been lucky enough to frequent Roanoke.
This is where you fly into if you happen to be going to Blacksburg, which is home of Virginia Tech, where our guest this week went to school, Johnson Wagner. But we'll get to some more of that in a little bit. But I'm actually up here at a little corporate day for Embark, which is a financial consulting and advisory firm out of Dallas, Texas. Believe it or not, they decided to come up here they have a membership with the Dormy Network, which I know we've talked about on this show before, but we're here. How about the name of this golf course, Sleaze? This is one of the Dormy Network courses. It's called Ballyhack. Okay, you got Bally High out in Vegas. You got Ballyhack here in Roanoke, Virginia. I'm actually wearing the hat right now. It's a goat on top of a little Virginia-shaped mountain kind of looking thing. Really cool place, though. Bounced around the golf course today, played a hole with each group, but they were awesome hosts. We got actually the trophy ceremony and a little get-together later tonight because there's not a whole lot out here, but they have 16 cottages on site. And these fellows, they're from Texas, Miami, got a bunch of Nashville people here. They're looking to have an evening tonight. So that's a good thing we're recording this a little earlier.
Good, man. Great logo. Great logo. By the way, that's good. You can learn a little about wealth management and managing wealth, diversification, allocation, all the stuff. Dude.
Yeah, I ran my lifestyle by a bunch of them. They said, that doesn't really work. That doesn't compute.
Where do you guys stand on 7-leg parlays in terms of managing wealth?
I will tell you, it's rather funny. I mean, so obviously you bounce around, you ask where are you from, all this. And every time, about 5 times today, I said, I'm in Scottsdale. Like, oh, you ever been to Bottle Blonde? I was like, oh, God.
Wow, these guys do run. They run hard. Yeah.
I was like, yep, sure have.
Yeah, not since I was 27, but yeah.
It's been a while.
Good work. All right, treat them well. Treat them well out there.
Yeah, shout out Embark for having me today. It's been a lot of fun. And to Ballyhack, great name, great logo. If you're ever in the area, come check it out. It's fantastic. Let's get zoned in here, Sleaze, with our friends from Zone Nicotine. It's football season, and we love our football, but nobody was more zoned in than the sleazy man, Drew Stoltz, this weekend, who I think watched 52 games of football.
I had a little session, Colt, on Saturday, coming off a minor operation, by the way. RIP to my active swimmers down below.
You look a little less of a man
I'm
today.
telling you, dude, I'm a little weak in the knees. It's a humbling experience, by the way. My boys, RIP, they're hanging up in the rafters where they belong. Hell of a career for them. So I was sidelined, obviously. Peas on the nuts all week. Football starts on the West Coast, college, on Saturday at 9 a.m. So 9 a.m., multiple games, locked in, streaming, iPad, multiple TV, all this stuff. I did not take my eyeballs off the television until roughly midnight when the after commentary of the Canelo-Crawford fight ended. And it was literally, so what is that, 15 hours
That's
of
it.
straight ball watching? No pun intended.
Yeah.
Actually, I was doing multiple ball watching. It was I've never felt more alive in my life. I mean, first half, I placed more bets than any human ever should. Actually, ironically, at the end of the day, I almost netted out almost dead even. I took Crawford plus 145 to win in a decision. He got me back leveled out, more or less. And it was like, I looked back at my sheet and I was like, dude, that's like 70. I mean, it was everything. It was
That's
so
a win.
fun.
That's a
so
win.
fun.
You go that many bets and can get out of there, even that's good. But I'm proud you were zoned in, watching some football.
Buddy.
Your Broncos took a tough L on Sunday, dude. Listen, I didn't get to watch a bunch of it. I was watching my Cowboys and then went over to the Chiefs and Eagles game. But I saw the end. And look, I'm not the biggest Broncos fan to cheer for him. You know I love Sean Payton. That was a horse shit call on the field goal.
Speaking of just brutal shots to the nuts.
A lot of nut talk here today.
I mean, dude, the game was won multiple times, by the way. It shouldn't have even come down to that field goal. We don't throw a pick down there, game over. We make the 42-yard field goal, probably game over, and then it comes to that. On a 60-yard Hail Mary to make that call, which happens damn near every kick, more or less. There was a Denver sportscaster that put out the clip of us getting the leverage penalty, and then a still shot of it, and then a still shot of like 15 other field goals from the day that look exact. He's like, one of these got called leverage. It's just, I mean, to decide if that was second quarter going into halftime or something, okay, it sucks, but whatever. But Hail Mary, 60-yarder, game decided on that, sucks. 15-yard, I mean, 45-yarder is a freaking layup for these guys nowadays.
Yeah. So is 64-yarders if your name is Brandon Aubrey of the Dallas Cowboys, who just kicked his way to a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. 64-yarder to get in overtime against producer Mark's New York Giants. My God, they made Russell Wilson look like freaking John Elway in his prime. It was so embarrassing, just slinging it all over the place. But how amazing was it, Sleaze? I got to watch the last half, and then right before we took off, they were getting ready for the field goal. And the fact that they didn't even try to push the ball a little closer, they're like, no, we're fine with 64 right here. We'll send it to Aubrey. And he just threw to this thing, and it would have been good from 75.
He's going to get a crack this year, like a 75-yarder. You get to midfield, and it's like, I mean, you got plenty of room to spare. I was kind of hoping, I was like, dude, I hope they get to the 45 or the 43, and we could just see something weird. Because you're right, that thing would have been good from 75. He's going to kick one this year. Whoa. What a freaking weapon it is to have that dude, especially kicking in a dome, too.
Listen,
that's unbelievable.
We are not very good. Okay, I say we because I'm a Cowboy fan, diehard.
You're correct. That's a good analysis.
With the new rules with touchbacks, okay, how it gets brought out to the 35 or 40.
If you kick it in the end zone, yeah.
Yeah,
if you don't kick it in the landing zone.
And then he got hurt in the game, but your TCU Horned Frog, Cavante Turpin back there, by far our biggest weapon is our special teams. Because you kick it to him, but he can take it for 6. If you don't, if you kick it through the back of the end zone, you give it to the Cowboys on the 35 or 40, they're a play away from being in field goal range. They got to move the ball 8 yards. They're like, okay, we can kick it.
When they kicked the one to take the lead, I was like, this thing is so far from over in Dallas with Aubrey out there. I don't know. Watching that game, you go back to Ravens-Bills opening week, that was one of the best games of all time. And I was like, I think I'm watching two of the best teams in the league. I don't know what I was watching with the Cowboys-Giants. I was like, these are either two shitty defenses, which I think is just two shitty defenses, but I was like, this is sweet. It was just, you don't see that in NFL that much, just the back and forth. And by the way, getting the ball thrown over your head like that, how does that even happen? Park. How do you not just park a safety back there?
The Cowboys also tried to blindfold him, too, and it didn't work. He put his hand right across his face, and he still caught it.
Speaking of New York, we need to get producer Mike a mic so that he can chime in on this while we just bash his
let's
team.
Just bash him, and he has nothing to say.
Danny Dimes, apparently pretty good. They just botched him up in New York. The guy looks, they haven't punted in 2 games.
Yeah.
First team ever in the modern era.
just had to find a nice home, and he found one.
Mm-hmm.
But
friendly.
I mean, just play the Cowboys, and your quarterback's going to get a max contract.
Yeah, D. It's not great. You could use an elite pass rusher.
Did you see who we just signed?
Should have got one of those
this morning.
No, who?
Blast from the past, but I'm kind of excited. Jadeveon Clowney coming to the Big D.
Is he my age? I mean,
I don't know. I think he's 34 years old.
I can remember ripping the dude's hat off at Michigan game and picking up the ball, the most unbelievable play I've ever seen. But that was also 37 years ago. So, all right, that'll change everything.
On his helmet sleeves.
That's right. Well, everything will change now. You guys are back.
No, we are definitely not back. But, man, football's back, and it has been so much fun to watch. I'm so excited. Some bad injuries. Joe Burrow going to be out 3 months. God, I just feel horrible for that franchise. I mean, that guy had pretty much an MVP season last year. If his team didn't suck, he would have won the MVP. But now he's going to be out 3 months with turf toe.
That turf toe, never had it, but the people that have had it, dude, they got to come up with a new name for it because it sounds like it's not. It's like, oh, my toe hurt. It's like it's the worst thing in the world. But yeah, 3 months. That's they're gonna have to find a way. 2-0 though.
All right, well, let's get to some gambling this week with our friends at Fanatic Sportsbook. If you haven't downloaded it, go download the Fanatic Sportsbook now and join in because we're doing pretty damn good, if you ask me. I'm 2-1 in football to start the season. You just coming off winning the golf. You got absolutely hosed in your bet. Oregon finished the race. You signed up for 60.
Dude, it's 31-0, and they have the ball in the opposite 15 with not much time left and end up not covering. That was unbelievable L. A little 80-yard piece right at the end. Oh, my God.
Tough one. Bad beat there.
Yeah.
Not as bad if did you see the Penn State one? I can't remember who they were playing.
That's their second, by the way, if you've bet Penn State on these monster lines.
What a catch that was by that guy to cover. And there's no reason you could have just called it. Just let's say, we got our ass whipped. This game's over.
They did it. They had the same thing against Nevada, I think, week 1 or 2 or something. They're on a tough stretch.
All right. Well, this week, only football out there. And so we're going to go in the college world, and we're going to give you 3 picks. We're going to pick my pick, Sleaze's pick, and then one we agreed on. And we're going to combine them for a little 3-team parlay to bring home some serious money, Sleaze.
Yes, here we go. And we're fractured here because obviously the game of the week across every platform will be taking place in Fort Worth, Texas when the mighty TCU Horned Frogs face off against little brother SMU Ponies. But we can't put that in because you're obviously going to be on SMU. I'm going to be on TCU.
Yeah,
we'll have
weird.
a little side wager on that, but clearly everyone knows that's the game of not only the week, possibly the millennium.
Yeah, we had a bad beat against Baylor just a couple weeks ago. Just gave it away. Up 14 with 6 minutes to go.
I know.
Both teams should be undefeated going in. SMU's got the loss, and they're catching 7 in the Battle of the Iron Skillet, which we currently hold. So I'm interested for this one. That seems like a lot of points.
I don't know what we are yet. We look good against North Carolina. I don't know what they are. And then we had a week off, and then we played nobody. So
we played Abilene Christian.
Yeah, and it was 41-0, and then we sat everybody, and they scored some points. So I still don't know what we are, but I'm going with if we want to be good at all this year, this is a game you got to win.
All right, we're going to leave that one out. So for me, my pick, this is a wild one, but I'm going to go with it, okay, because I'm convinced Arch Manning is as good as everybody hyped him up to be leading into the season. He has not shown it so far this season. Texas has looked not very good. They're 2-1, but it's been ugly. Their last couple of wins been San Jose State and UTEP, okay, playing nobody. And he did not play good this past Saturday. The time is now, Arch Manning. I'm ready for you to come out and sling it and show why you were the favorite to win the Heisman at the start of the season. Your Texas Longhorns are favored by 41 points over Sam Houston State. Let's go slinging around, Arch. Run up the score. Show me you are who we all thought you were.
Okay, we're laying 41, are we?
41, Sleep.
I like that. It was like 10-0 or something against UTEP at half this past week. I was like, what is going on? But they should be able to just turn around, hand it to their running back, and run straight down Sam Houston's face if they want to. All right, 41's a lot. I'm going to go with the favorite, too. So we're just Joe Public bettors here. I'll spare you all the analysis here, but I'm going to take the Arkansas Razorbacks, -7, going back to my state of birth. Shout out to the Hogs, against Memphis, at Memphis, laying 7. Okay. They had a great game with Ole Miss. Very entertaining game. They always have good games with Ole Miss.
Yeah, actually, a couple of the guys that I played with today are from Arkansas, and they're still pissed off about that loss to Ole Miss, but it was a hell of a game. All right, Arkansas -7. Then the one we agree on.
Yeah.
One of the better games of the weekend, I would say. We got Oklahoma and Auburn set to battle it out. I just have not been one bit impressed with Auburn at all. Oklahoma had the huge win against Michigan. I think they're very, very good. They are -6.5 against Auburn, and that's who we're going with for the final leg of our 3-team parlay. We got Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Old school Big 12 parlay.
I love that. Oklahoma in Norman is a different animal. I feel like they got something going on up there this year. Put the wood to Temple. Auburn did handle Baylor pretty easy first week at Baylor. But we'll see. I think OU is like legit this year. So that's one we agree on. Might as well get rich. 3 favorites. What could go wrong?
Yeah. And how about some of those games this past week, by the way? How about Georgia, Tennessee? I mean, Tennessee chanced in the 8-game losing streak to Georgia with a field goal, end up going to overtime. That atmosphere was electric. Man, that was just absolutely wild. Then we had LSU, Florida down there. Brian Kelly going off on some reporters.
He don't like post-game questions about his team.
He does not.
He is just angry at all times. I think he just hates that one reporter who apparently has it out for him. By Georgia Tech, Clemson, all time. Walk-off shot, Clemson. Stress, by the way. Shout out. That's producer Mike's. Producer Mark's squad, Georgia Tech. Adopted squad.
His college team is much better than his pro team.
Correct. You got to have something going for you in this world. But, God, it's good to have ball back, ain't it?
It's great, man.
Lose some balls, gain some others.
I forgot to tell you a totally different note before we get out of here. Got to play one of the best courses in the world this past week since we filmed the podcast. Last Wednesday, Thursday, played National Golf Links of America. Actually, we sent you a little picture of me and Greg McElroy, the former Alabama quarterback, NFL quarterback, now is in the booth with Sean McDonough, covering the SEC primetime games. Does an awesome job. But Sleaze, I'd never played there. I played several in the area, but man, what a place that is. Shout out to National. My man Frankie on the bag for me 2 days. We had a blast. That golf course, look, it's obviously one of the oldest golf courses in America. It is phenomenal, extremely exclusive. You've got so many greats in that area. Shinnecock, one of the best, which it shares a fence, by the way, on number 1 with Sabonic, on number 10 with Shinnecock. It's just wild to think those 3 golf courses share fences together. But I can tell you this, Shinnecock, world class. I mean, it's a major championship golf course. National, that is fun.
Yeah,
like there's some tough holes, but there are some chances to make birdies out there as well. That is a joyful walk for 18 holes. I loved it, man.
It is so fun to play that. Fun is the right word for it because I've gotten a chance to play it a couple times. The first time I played it, it was a 36-hole day, wind blowing, Shinnecock in the morning. This is back when I was playing, so I was like, I'm playing the back tees. I want to see where they play it from for like a U.S. Open, right? I'm out there. I mean, dude, it is just unbelievably hard. We pack up, we go have lunch, National, go out to there, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, you can make a birdie. This is fun. What was the wind on number 1? Because I've hit 3-wood over that green, and I've also hit driver like short of that bunker out there. It totally depends on the wind.
Yeah, in off the left. So the first day we had some pretty good wind blowing, and then the second day was hardly any at all. But like number 2, I hit 3-wood over the green the first day, and I hit 3-wood to like 8 feet the second day.
Yeah, you start off with the first 2, and you're like, "What is this? We're gonna just drive all the par 4s," and then it's like, I mean, it is so fun though. I mean, it's a one of one. There ain't much that is like comp. You don't leave anywhere and be like, you know what that reminds me of? National.
Yeah,
it's one of one.
Cool. And by the way, the official lunch, which they have, where they bring out all the massive lobsters and everything, we had it after we played on Thursday morning. I don't understand how people have that lunch and then go play golf. That is just a nightmare waiting to happen. But the food, staff, everyone, fantastic. Just loved every second of it. We had a blast up there.
That's a really cool trip. And with GMAC, too.
Yeah.
Shout out GMAC.
GMAC's wallet's a little lighter.
Ooh.
I'll say that.
It's all right. He can afford it.
He'll be okay.
He'll be all right, GMAC. He'll be on the show soon. We'll get him in.
Yeah. Let's get to our guest this week, one of our beauties, making his return trip to Subpar. The great Wagyu, Johnson Wagner, joins us on this week's Subpar.
All right, we have one of the biggest fan favorites in all of golf joining us here today. He's a 3-time winner on the PGA Tour, current analyst for NBC and Golf Channel, and owner of a generational Philtrum the great Johnson Wagner. Wagyu, how are you, buddy?
Sleaze, man, I'm so happy to be here with you guys. What an honor to be back. My second time on Subpar. Listen to you guys all the time, so it's always nice being a guest.
That's when you know you've made it, is when you get a repeat on Subpar.
Yep, that's it. It's as big as it gets.
Well, we got a lot to get to today. We got Ryder Cup. We got some Walker Cup talk to get to, but I want to talk a little TV life with you because you're absolutely killing it out there. Being an analyst for NBC and the Golf Channel, you and I got to work together quite a bit this summer. It's always so much fun out there. Your recreation of shots that is going on right now. I got to ask real quick. This shot on 16 you hit in Atlanta, okay. I think I was up at a golf course somewhere watching, and there you are. You're down right at 16 where it's all shaved on Thursday, and you're hitting these sick little spinners up there to like 5 feet. And then later that afternoon, here's Justin Thomas, one of the greatest in the world, in that same spot, and he proceeds to make a 10-footer for double, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. I don't know what happened. I kind of blacked out over that shot. I think the first one I made a practice swing and I completely whiffed the ground. And Colt, it's like this, I think it's called Prism Zoysia. So it's this super tight surface. And so the second time I went, I was like, make a practice swing that hits the ground. I hit the ground. And then when this wedge, I just got fit for a new 60 by my manufacturing company. The guy told me it would be like cheating off of tight fairways. I'm telling you what, this thing popped up into the air like I have never seen before. I think it's, you give me 10 balls, I'm not hitting one that good off of that stuff. Spawn made a mess over there. Scotty Sheffler was over there that day. There's a bunch of guys that made a mess to that front right.
They just don't have it. Where the hell was this guy last year at Valhalla? Could have used you then there, bud.
Yeah, it's been a rough go. I don't know if you guys saw, but over at the Open Championship on 16, the par 3, I actually sculled one into a crowded grandstand, and that was definitely the low point of my TV career. My son was with me, and he had the biggest grin on his face for like an hour and a half after that shot into the grandstand. Just the people squealing like, "Oh my God, make him stop!"
That's my dad. He can't chip for shit. All right, give me your best and worst shots of 2025.
Of 2025, oh man. Paul McGinley had been trying to talk me into chipping cross-handed at the PGA at Quail. And it was Sunday that I decided to do one where Scotty Sheffler and John Rahm were both over the back of the 15th green at Quail Hollow. And I putted one like they both did down to a couple feet. And then I was like, let's have a little fun. Let's chip it cross-handed. And I sculled this thing probably 60 yards off the front of the green at 15 at Quail. It was humiliating. I had my brother, wife, son, all his friends were out there watching, and it was it's brutal to do something like that on live television. Best shot was without a doubt Tour Championship. You said it, 16. Yeah. It was actually Saturday though at the Tour Championship. They decided to use that new back tee, or not new back tee, but it was the first time they were using the back tee on 15. And we're out there for like an hour, and there's a little crowd because it's right by an entrance, but it starts raining, so I didn't really have time to loosen up or stretch. And I decided it was 206 front edge into the wind in the rain, and I'm just going to smash a 4-iron as hard as I can hit it. And I hit this thing as high and as good as I've ever hit a 4-iron, and it came up about 2 yards short of the green in the water. That was the best contact I've made on any shot on television.
Love that.
I think that's why everyone loves you so much, though, because they ride the roller coaster with you. We see the chipping yips borderline. We see some knives. Then you see unbelievable shots. I mean, dude, the one you hit out of the bunker at Pinehurst last year with Bryson, when he just happened to be driving by. I mean, people were celebrating that on social media like you'd actually just won the U.S. Open.
I got lucky on that one. I got a mulligan since Bryson showed up. The first one I sort of bladed over the green, almost into the clubhouse. We never found it. I think there were some bushes back there, but then got pretty lucky with Bryson. Getting to hold that U.S. Open trophy was definitely one of the highlights of my post-golf career.
Yeah, that was really cool. And the fact, I don't care if you got a mulligan or not, it's a 50-yard bunker shot. Like, it's a ridiculously hard shot. That's why I think what he did with all the pressure and everything on the line, that's why, in my opinion, it was probably the shot of the year last year.
And leaving it in a spot up the hill, Rory had the up and down, not from the bunker, and left it 3 feet above the hole, missed it, and Bryson leaving it underneath the hole for a chance to win the U.S. Open. It was, without a doubt, the greatest shot I think I've seen in the last handful of years.
Yeah, it was something special. But I also thought one of the cool things you did this past year is you went to a lot of different locations where Tiger Woods had his 2000 dominant season. I mean, probably the best season we've ever seen in the history of golf. And you went to a lot of different places, Pebble Beach, Canada, Hazeltine.
Can you take us through some of those spots you went to and some of your favorite shots you got to recreate from Tiger?
Pebble was incredible. I got to take my producer, Andrew Bradley, out, and we played, got a little unaccompanied at Cypress Point on Wednesday morning, and then filmed our stuff at Pebble Thursday. Red Eye to Canada. Canada was incredible, probably the hardest shot because it was out of that fairway bunker at Glen Abbey. And when Tiger hit it, he was downwind, and it had rained, so the bunker was kind of packed down, and it was into the wind, cold, and I hit 3-iron out of that bunker at Glen Abbey. I did manage to keep it dry, which was cool, but then went to Firestone and Valhalla, got to play both those places in the morning before we went live on air, and it was a great trip, a lot of traveling, lots of air miles, lots of quality time with said producer Andrew Bradley, but we've became even closer for it, and man, pretty cool to be able to replicate. And my highlight of that trip was I got to make the finger pointing putt.
Yeah, that was sick.
One take live on camera, drilled that putt. So that was pretty sweet.
That was sick. And the good thing about that show is you could do like 72 seasons with all the all the shots that Tiger's hit. But just going into the media thing as a whole, when you stopped playing, you played your last year on the PGA Tour. Did you know this was a direction that you wanted to go? Was to get in like to the golf broadcast side, golf media side?
Peter Jacobson years ago, maybe like 2012, Deutsche Bank in Boston during the playoffs, had me do some Jake's Take thing where he asked if I could do a Boston accent, and we were just messing around, went and shot the thing, and then he said to me afterwards, he said, "Keep winning, you got a lot of time left, but he said when you're done playing, you should try to get into TV." And it kind of fell in my lap with Golf Channel through a buddy that's a researcher there, Kevin Ryan, and I've just been blown away how much I've loved it. And like Colt, you guys both know the getting to work with the team of people behind the scenes, like the producers, graphics, research, just everybody. I mean, and Colt, on your level with CBS, all the support for the walkers, it's just it's truly amazing. Playing an individual sport my whole life to now feel like a part of a big team is what's been the best part for me.
You know, you said that beautifully, and one of my favorite pictures I have in my office was from the Wyndham Championship this past year when it was Ian Baker Finch's last tournament, last live broadcast for 30 years, 19 of them was CBS, and we got the entire crew out there, and I think people were shocked. They're like, "Oh my God, this many people are out there to put this show on." I was like, "Yeah, when all y'all bitch about the TV broadcast and everything that goes on, just come out here and just take a look at what all goes into it."
All the camera operators, the boom mics, Colt, that picture, like I love Ian Baker Finch so much, and watching the video of that come out as he was coming out of Titan and seeing the pictures, it got me teary eyed. Just the amount of support and respect everybody had for him.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it, and that was very well deserved. But with everything you're doing right now, I know you love being in the booth. I know you love recreating shots. Is there something you're shooting for? Like, do you want to, like, what would be your dream job in TV?
Well, I mean, I think it would be, obviously, I don't think I've got the credentials to be like a lead analyst where Trevor Immelman is right now. But Ian Baker Finch's job at some point would be the one that I would think would be the sort of the ceiling for my career, being a hole announcer on a network television side. I think that's something that I would jump at an offer if it ever came, I think that's my ceiling, and I kind of want to try to see if I can get there.
Nice.
Johnson, when you say, like, I don't think my career qualifies me to be in like a Trevor Immelman spot, do you think that job, like that lead analyst job, is a prerequisite? And I guess it's not, because you can look at some of the guys, but like, do we put too much into like resume and what you've accomplished as opposed to a guy who knows golf, educated golf, can articulate all that? What do you think on that?
I think it's sort of twofold. I mean, I know Brandel Chambly got the opportunity to be sitting in that chair for the U.S. Open last year for NBC, and obviously Kiz has not won a major, but I think traditionally that seat has been filled by a major champion, whether it was going back to Johnny Miller, Paul Azinger on the NBC side, or obviously Faldo, Ken Venturi on the CBS side. I think I would like to see that seat filled by somebody with the proper credentials, because if I was sitting in that seat at a U.S. Open or a major championship of any kind, I don't think that I have the prerequisite. I mean, I've played in all the majors, but I've never come down the stretch trying to win a major. So I think having someone sit in that seat that's done it is important. But that being said, I think these guys that have been winning majors in the last 25 years, I don't know that any of them have the desire to do TV, because it's honestly a little bit more work than I think any of us realized before getting into it.
Yeah, Ryan Clark would be pissed if you were in that chair.
Ryan Clark.
It's a football thing. I'll explain it to you later.
RC. I got you.
That's the non-player in you, dude. You're a non-player.
God, that did not go over well.
I know RC.
Before we get back to Johnson Wagner, a quick note from Pinehurst, the home of American golf. With nearly 40 golf courses within a 15-mile radius, including the iconic and U.S. Open anchor site Pinehurst Resort, now is the time to make plans to play in the Sandhills of North Carolina. Aside from the golf, experience the area's 5 breweries, new destination distillery, the impeccable local dining scene, outdoor adventure, and much, much more. Plan your next golf trip and check out the latest packages and some suggested itineraries at homeofgolf.com. Be sure to also stop by the World Golf Hall of Fame and USGA experience at Golf House Pinehurst. Find it all at homeofgolf.com. That's homeofgolf.com. Now, back to Wagyu.
But you're doing a fantastic job. I know you're heading up to the Ryder Cup here soon, as we all are. It's going to be, in my opinion, one of the greatest Ryder Cups of all time. I think both teams are very evenly matched. The European team is stacked. Rory McIlroy just coming off a win at the Irish Open. But what are you most excited for up at the Ryder Cup? And do you have anything special planned that you could maybe fill us in on a little bit?
Yeah, well, this will be my first one. I did the President's Cup last year, and I've been to the President's Cup when it was here at Quail Hollow a couple years ago. But I've never been to a Ryder Cup, so I'm super pumped just to feel the vibe and the emotions and of the crowd and the energy. And I know Bethpage well. Played a couple Barclays there. Played some events when I was living in the New York area out there. Used to actually spend the night in the parking lot to get that first tee time with some high school buddies. So I'm looking forward to sort of on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, I'll be out on the golf course, sort of just highlighting what I love so much about Bethpage. And then obviously once the tournament comes, that's when I'll be trying to recreate some of the shots of the day. And as far as that goes, so those are always fun they just kind of come naturally, organically. But as far as what I'm planning on doing early in the week, I can guarantee I'll be on 17 green. I think 15 green is one of the coolest, one of the hardest second shots in all of golf. So I'm just looking forward to a couple of those holes that are sort of special to me and memorable to bring the viewer down on the ground.
Hey, Sleaze.
God, the whole week.
Sleaze,
yes.
Just to show you how humble Johnson Wagner is. He said, I played Bethpage a few times, played in a couple tournaments. The man shot 64 in the final round of the 2016 Barclays.
Got me into Boston the next week. That was a good round.
64, I believe. That was the course record until Brooks Koepka shot 63 there.
It was. I think Padraig Harrington had it before, and so I tied Padraig Harrington's course record that year.
Wow.
Did you get a call from Keegan this year saying, hey, dude, we looked back at that 64. We'd love to have you, but unfortunately we got to go a different route?
Well, I was thinking I was going to be asked to be some sort of assistant captain, but that didn't materialize. I think I probably ruined my chances when have I ever told you about the Davis Love story at Quail as he was the Ryder Cup or he was Pres Cup captain?
No.
Yeah, tell it.
All right, so he was announced captain. Being a member at Quail, I really wanted to be a part of that team. So I was playing a practice round at the Seminole Member Pro with him. I can't remember what year, and probably 21. And back on the 9th tee, I walk back with him, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to work up the courage. So I said, Davis, hey, I'm a member at Quail. I know you're the captain. I'll do anything to be a part of that team. Whatever it takes, I just want to be a part of it. And so he thinks about it for a second. We're walking off the tee, and he's like, guys like Bubba Watson, Patrick Reed, they always need specific snacks brought out to them on the golf course. And I was just like, what? I mean, really? And I didn't talk to him. I didn't talk to him the rest of the round. I was so offended. And so fast forward to the President's Cup. I'm sitting on the 7th green with my son, with my nephew, right on the rope line. Webb Simpson, who's a member and is an assistant captain on that team, drives up in a cart, sees us there, brings us a couple team towels for my son and my nephew. And I was like, Webb, how is it being an assistant? Is it great? And he's like, well, to tell you the truth, all I'm doing is bringing snacks out to guys all day long. So I feel like had I taken that role, maybe I could have a role on this Ryder Cup team, but that didn't materialize. So I feel like I messed that one up.
What do you say to Davis after you get the courage up? You're all nervous to ask him, and he's basically like, yeah, dude, we could use a good snack boy. Or you're like, yeah, they do need snacks now.
I literally didn't talk to him the last 10 holes of that round. I was so put off by it, but I actually told that story at an offsite pro-am on Wednesday at the Tour Championship in front of Davis Love, and Davis found it pretty entertaining and remembered the whole encounter.
That is beautiful. By the way, you'd make a great vice captain. You bring the energy, get that New York crowd fired up. I mean, you're a 2-time Met Am champion.
Yeah, Met Am, you own that joint.
Yeah, man. Met Am, Met Open a couple times as well.
Yeah.
Love that area.
That's a big time event. I never knew you used to caddy up at Hudson National.
Yeah, grew up through my last couple of years of high school and through college caddying out there.
So I played there the Monday of the Rocket Mortgage. I always go to New York City for my birthday. We go up there for a trip. Record heat index. Hudson National is obviously walking only. It was so hot they let everyone take carts. It was 111 heat index, not a breath of wind on the place.
That sounds like a pretty miserable day. At least you had carts though, because when we caddying out there, it's full jumpsuit. I mean, it's short sleeve on top, but pants. Colt, my first summer caddying, I lost 35 pounds going into my freshman year of college, and let's just say I had a pocket full of cash and the best body of my life. I felt pretty good going into my freshman year.
Pocket full of cash and a beautiful body. That should be a song.
Right? I didn't say beautiful. Best body of my life.
Yeah.
I'm making a song. Pocket full of cash, beautiful body.
Is that when you showed Virginia Tech football team how to work out?
That's correct, Sleaze. That was just a few months after that. Yes.
What did you show them? Like push-ups or pull-ups? What'd you do?
Yeah, it was strength and conditioning. If you beat in the fall, we maxed out, and in the spring we maxed out. And if you could beat your max out in all of the 4 disciplines, it was like dips, pull-ups, bench press, and push-ups, then you got some stupid t-shirt. And I did 0 pull-ups in the fall, and I was able to eke out 1 in the spring, and started running around the weight room just screaming. And I think it was the women's soccer team, not the football team.
Oh, okay. Either way.
That's way better. That's where you met your wife, by the way.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it worked.
Also, I can sympathize with you on the whole pull-up thing. We used to do the strength and conditioning test as well. And they're like, one of them was pull-ups. And I was like, do you just want to put me down for 0, or do you actually want me to just hang there for a little bit? I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it. And they're like, you have to try. I'm like, okay.
Hang there. I'd like to see you hang there for a few minutes. And
I just hung and just said, all right, we're done. We're good.
And that's 0.
That would be 0. And you can keep me at 0 for the next 4 years. Back to Hudson National, though. You mentioned walking around there. I'd never seen the place, so I had no idea what it was like, just walking only. That place is crazy hilly. With how hot it was, I'm pretty sure all of me and my buddies agreed we would have played 1, saw the hill to go to 2, and we would have jumped over to 18 and probably called it a day.
That's been done many times on a hot day at Hudson National. It is a brutal walk, and there's really no let up anywhere out there. It just takes it out of you. The best walk on that golf course is from the 18th green straight uphill to the clubhouse. That's after you've caddied 18 out there, and you know your day's done, and you're about to get some cash money.
What a beautiful place, though, man. I loved it.
Did y'all stay on the ground out there?
No, we just drove it. We played there Monday and Liberty National on Tuesday. I mean, like I said, the most ridiculous heat wave New York City has ever seen. It was so miserable.
Yeah, they got to keep those courses wet when it's like that too. Bent grass fairways, bent grass greens. So hopefully the course was in decent condition for you.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Johnson, back to the Ryder Cup for a second. U.S. is betting favorites, which we always are. We always look better on paper. As we know, it doesn't always shake out that way. But if you just looked at these rosters objectively, 1 through 12, neutral site, take Bethpage out of the equation. Do you lean one way or the other? I feel like this personally is maybe the deepest European team that I've seen since I've been old enough to know what's going on.
I mean, as an American, I'm very concerned about this Ryder Cup because they're basically bringing the same team, just substitute Rasmus for Nikolai. And I mean, their games are virtually identical as well as their look. So when you had a successful team in Rome that the European side did, plus you've got the same captain, same assistant captains. I mean, Eduardo Molinari did such a great job with the analytics. So they already have predetermined alternate shot pairings that were successful, better ball pairings that were successful. They can basically just roll that back out. So I think when you look at it that way, 4 rookies on the U.S. team. I mean, J.J. Spawn, I think showed me a lot in Memphis when he got into that playoff with Justin Rose, just that he's going to be able to handle this situation well. Russell Henley's going to be great, but I mean, we just have so many unknowns on that U.S. side that I'm really happy we have home field advantage, because I think that's what's going to be carrying us to the finish line.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, they are basically rolling out the same exact team, and I would be shocked if Friday morning, first group out, it's not John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton getting ready to go again.
Put them right back out. Put that whole session from that went 4-0 in Rome on Friday morning. Why on earth would you not just trot those same groups right out there?
I think you can go ahead and get ready for that. I mean, there's no doubt. I think the big question for Team USA, and I actually watched you on 5 Clubs with your man Fillet and Gary Williams, is who plays with Bryson DeChambeau. Does Bryson DeChambeau play alternate shot?
Man, I talked to Webb Simpson out at Quail last week, and he said they're going to play Bryson as much as possible. I think he's going to be a guy that goes out there and really energizes the crowd. Now, doesn't seem like, I think he's 0-2-1 and foursomes in his history, or maybe it's just 0-2. But I seems risky to trot him out there in that first session. He won't have played a tournament for a while. I think he's going to be such an awkward fit partner-wise. I mean, I thought it was going to be Cam Young just because they play the same ball, but I've heard that since Cam Young won Wyndham with the ball Bryson has been playing, that one of them has switched away from it. So I don't know that there's just a ball fit, because we all know as particular as Bryson is about his spin rates and his launch angle and all that stuff, he's not going to be the kind of guy that's going to switch and play a spinnier or a less spinny golf ball just to make it easier for his partner.
Yeah, he's going to be a question mark, but I tend to agree with that. Like, hey, he's one of the top players on the planet. He qualified for this team automatically in 8 events. Like, you got to get him out. You can't sit him on the bench, as different as his game is. Speaking on like the Bethpage and the home field advantage, we know the home teams had they win and the away teams had a tough time. Is there any part of the U.S. going to Bethpage? I feel like the hype leading up to this the last 2 years has been as much as I can remember for a Ryder Cup. We also got our ass kicked in Rome last time. Is there almost like too much, I don't want to say too much pressure, but is there a chance that we're like too hyped up? How do you monitor that if you're Keegan Bradley? Like, how do you make sure they don't want it too bad?
I mean, it seemed like, and you guys were both there at Rome, it seemed like we were flat that first day. I would love to see us get hyped up and get out there and get the crowd going on Friday, get the crowd going all week. And I just really hope that the U.S. side, it's not like an 0-4 at Oakland Hills thing where Hal Sutton told them not to sign autographs in Detroit, and Europe heard this and signed everything during practice rounds. I just really hope that Keegan has them out there engaging the crowd early in the week and trying to just ensure that, because I think it's going to be a pretty big corporate crowd, and being the melting pot that New York is, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bunch of European fans out there. So I hope we can win the crowd over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Therefore, we don't have to worry about them turning on the fans if we go 0-4 in that first sesh.
Yeah, I'm with you. With it being New York City, so easy to get to from Europe. I mean, you're not going to Whistling Straits. There's going to be a lot more European fans. There is no doubt about that.
Before we get back to Johnson Wagner, all right, hey everyone, I want to take a minute and thank one of our sponsors, Carlisle Companies. Look, I know these guys at Carlisle. I'm good friends with their CEO, and they're doing some pretty cool and innovative things around energy efficiency for homes and commercial buildings. They also help contractors get more out of their labor. I'm just super pleased that Carlisle is a sponsor of our show. Here's a stat for you. Nearly 40% of all energy consumption in the U.S. comes from buildings. 40%. So to reduce energy usage and our energy bills, we've got to make buildings more energy efficient. And that's what Carlisle does. And they do it in really cool ways. For example, Carlisle recently launched a cutting-edge new insulation that's made from recycled blue jeans. That's right, blue jeans. It's called Ultra Touch Insulation. Ultra Touch is readily available at the Home Depot, and it's safe to handle and easy to install. Carlisle's Ultra Touch makes insulation easy. And not only does it save you money, but it also keeps about 20 million pounds of old blue jeans out of our landfills. I know when you think blue jeans, you're probably thinking how you wish yours fit better, but you should be thinking Carlisle. Ultra Touch recycled denim insulation from Carlisle. Learn more at carlisle.com. Now back to Johnson Wagner.
But Johnson, I want to get your thoughts on this, because Sleaze and I talk about this a lot on our shows that we do, and we want a couple changes to the Ryder Cup, and I want to know if you agree with this. One, we want it to be just like the President's Cup. When you throw out a guy or a team, the other captain comes back and matches it. That way, if like how good would it be, Scotty Sheffler and Rory McIlroy in a crucial match on Sunday in the singles? I mean, I just think that's a no-brainer. Two, the other one, I'll let you answer both of these. There are no ties in the Ryder Cup. Okay, if we tie at the end, just like the President's Cup, USA's Keegan Bradley's picking one guy, Luke Donald's picking one guy, and we're playing sudden death for the Ryder Cup.
Well, I think the President's Cup went away from that after that epic duel with Tiger and Ernie. What was that? 03. I think President's Cup went away with it, but I would love to see that. The only question would be, is that too much pressure to put on one guy?
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but I mean, shoot, I think Scotty Sheffler could handle it. And then as far as the pairings go, absolutely. I think there'd be great TV drama. I would love to see them throw out a pairing and then like, oh yeah, we're going to stick Xander and Cantlay against these guys because of their head-to-head record. I think that would be a great change for the Ryder Cup. I wish the President's Cup would not play Thursday because I think having the just one session each on Thursday, Friday is sort of flat. And I think having the 36 Friday, 36 Saturday, and then singles on Sunday is just a way better format.
I agree.
Yeah, I think President's Cup needs to shrink the amount of points if they want that thing to be competitive, and the Ryder Cup needs to go the other way. But I just don't understand why they haven't done that. They do it at President's Cup. I feel like there'd be so much more strategy as a captain and who you put out and who you match with who. And then you could ultimately, like at the end of the day, this is all for golf fans, right? It's an exhibition. You could get the singles matches you want. Like we never got with Tiger. Oh, they throw out Rory. All right, here's Bryson. Like who? Everyone wants to see that. The odds of us getting it are slim.
Well, I can tell you this, Johnson, just from, and I'm okay saying this, at the Ryder Cup at Hazeltine, like I know they put out the list, like this is our order, this is their order. The Rory McIlroy, Patrick Reed match was set up. And did it ever deliver? Like how good was that? They both wanted to play each other. They both didn't really like each other, and it was great TV.
It was one of the most memorable singles matches that I can think of in Ryder Cup history. The crowd was behind it. Both players were jacked up. And sure, don't you think behind the scenes there's a little bit of that with singles with the captains like Luke and Keegan are like, hey, I'm going to put so-and-so here. Would really like to get this matchup if it's cool with you.
I hope so.
I would hope. Yeah.
I would hope so. Like first match, let's put them both out or just to set the tone. I mean, that'd be all time.
All time.
All right, speaking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sleaze.
I was just going to ask one more Ryder Cup question as it pertains to Europe. Where do you think they go captain-wise? Like Luke Donald was a fill-in for Stinson. He's getting to run it back because he did such a great job. But like their list of guys, like it was pretty easy to go down the list. Be like, all right, you got Poulter, you got Westwood, you got Stinson. You know, you can name them all. What do you think they do with that? Being that live guys are now, you know, they're going to be on their team. It seems weird to be like, you can play on our team, but you can't captain our team. Sergio, I mean, what do you think they do with that?
Yeah, I mean, and even you would think like a Paul Casey and a Luke Donald probably would have been passed over had you had that stable of those live guys. I don't know. Do you think Phil Mickelson should ever be a Ryder Cup captain?
I think it depends on the players, honestly. I think he asked the guys that are going to be playing, like, do you want, like, what's their – I know Keegan still, you know, reveres Phil.
I'll say this as far as the Phil thing goes. Take all the bullshit away, like everything that's happened on the side, away from golf. He will be a great captain. Like he would give it his all. I mean, he would give the greatest speeches, in my opinion. I think he'd be a fantastic captain. It's just the question is has he done too much to kind of like it? Would it be too much? Would the focus be on him too much instead of the actual Ryder Cup?
And I mean, think about the players that are on that U.S. team that he'd be captaining that maybe feel like he sort of abandoned them and tried to burn the house down on the way out. Like, I think it's a little bit harder to have a live player as a captain. But if a live player won't be on the European side, I think it's a no-brainer to have Justin Rose. I mean, he'll be 47 the next time the Ryder Cup comes around. Obviously, he can still play at such a high level, winning a playoff event this year. But Rosie's next on my list. And if I don't really have anybody anywhere near him, like you said, Sleaze, because they've all been taken. So maybe but didn't Sergio handle the whole selection thing poorly and then end up withdrawing from the BMW Championship because he didn't get a call from Luke Donald? Like that's a little petty to me. I don't know that that's great captain behavior.
Yeah, by the way, he could have handled that so much differently. Like, don't say you withdrew because of that. Say, hey, I'm in New York with my family. I want to watch Carlos Alcaraz try to win the U.S. Open. I'm going to play golf with him on his off days. Like, I would have been perfectly fine if that was the excuse.
Yeah, the way he went about it was it didn't show a lot of class or someone who's been a part of so many great European Ryder Cup teams. It kind of was a slap in the face to the whole process that they made when really Sergio hadn't done much throughout the year to even garner any sort of decision as a pick.
That's what surprised me. I was like, in what world are you thinking that you're going to be one of these picks? Like, I don't hold grudges either way, but I'm like, that European team, I was pretty much set in stone. Like I know exactly where they're going. Maybe one pick, and it wasn't, Sergio wasn't one of the guys that was in consideration. I was really surprised by that.
I mean, he did. I think he did win one live event this year, but didn't really show up in the majors at all. And it just that was shocking to me. And maybe just him sort of trying to get a little bit of publicity. I guess all press is good press when it comes to Sergio Garcia.
Sure. Well, one guy that didn't have to worry about being a pick. He's going to be on the Ryder Cup team this year and for many years to come. The world number one, Scotty Sheffler. Wagyu, you're out there a lot of weeks. I mean, what can these guys do to try to slow down Scotty Sheffler? I mean, the last 2 years have just been honestly ridiculous.
I mean, I think have him try to do some sort of ravioli cooking clinic would be the only way you can slow him down. That's the only thing that's done it in the last 4 years. Like, the dude works harder than anybody. He's more competitive than anybody. He seems more grounded at home and happy with his home life than anybody. Colt, when I would win PGA Tour events, this may shock you, but I would celebrate pretty hard and maybe not have a good couple weeks after, other than maybe one time I finished really nice the next week. Scotty Sheffler puts the win in the back mirror. Immediately in the rearview mirror, like he just wants to go out and whatever that next week he's going to play, he starts over fresh and he's going to try to go win that one. And I think his mindset is I think it's his mind. Obviously his physical skills are higher than anybody's right now, but his mind is light years ahead of anybody.
Absolutely. And I remember seeing an interview, just a couple months ago. He talked about winning. I think he might have been at the Open Champ. It was at the Open Championship because he went on to win. But he's like, yeah, like winning, it feels good for a couple of minutes. Then it's just like, all right, what are we doing for dinner tonight? I'm like, that's a guy that wins way too much. Because for me, I'm like, what are we doing for the next 48 hours? Because we're going to
Robert McIntyre after he won the Scottish last year.
We are going to send it, my friend, and everyone's invited.
and can you think of a superstar in any other sport, and you can actually even name like an era, it doesn't even have to be current, who honestly like couldn't give a shit less about like ego, status, being on social media, being famous, doing all this, like going to the parties and, being around Hollywood. Like he doesn't care about any of that genuinely. And it's not an act. And I can't really think of many that have ever dominated their sport that are like that. Maybe Federer a little bit.
I was just about to say Federer, but Federer, he would do stuff and he had like this style and this swag and he would go to the galas and do all that. But I mean, and Scotty does
like James
too.
Bond.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's hard to say this, but I think we're just at the very tip of the iceberg when it comes to Scotty's dominance. I just don't see him going anywhere for at least the next 6 or 7 years. Now, I know form in the game of golf is fickle and can come and go, but man, it seems like the way he works and especially with Randy and his team being so consistent, the fact that he's not on social media, he doesn't pay attention to the articles or words that are said about him. He's uniquely placed. I know when I was playing well, I loved turning on Golf Central and seeing what Brandel or whoever had to say how bad I was. And you could let that stuff get in the way, and he just doesn't.
Absolutely not. I mean, he is very unique. There is no doubt about that. And it's honestly cool to see. Like he's for a superstar in their sport, no one will do less corporate days than Scotty Scheffler. I don't think it's a debate.
You don't need the money.
Imagine the money he could make.
I mean, he
don't care.
A day with him right now would have to be worth close to 7 figures, I would think, for a full day with Scotty Sheffler.
That's the Wagyu rate too, isn't it? That's about what you've worked up to.
Yeah, exactly.
That is unbelievable. Well, Scotty Sheffler was a part of a Walker Cup team back in the day. The Walker Cup just wrapped up out at beautiful Cypress Point. I mean, one of the greatest golf courses in the world. For most people, it's the first time seeing it on TV. What was your thoughts of the 50th Walker Cup, and how cool did Cypress look with the drones and everything going on?
Cypress looked unreal, and that first day on Friday, I mean, what an epic day of weather to see Cypress Point under bluebird skies. And I loved seeing the golf course getting a little browned out. But then on Sunday, last night, watching it in the singles matches, I thoroughly enjoyed seeing it with the marine layer come in, and the fact that there was no way to follow the ball on 16 because it was just that foggy. I thought that was equally as cool. And Colt, watching them play the 18th hole out there, which is one of the most unique finishing holes in golf, like it's just a 5-iron, 9-iron, or a 5-iron wedge for these kids, and they were struggling to hit that fairway. I absolutely loved everything about it. Cypress, the first couple times I played it, I obviously loved it, but I didn't have the respect for it. And the more I've played it, and the caddies that I've had that have kind of helped me strategically find the best way to go make birdies out there, it is such a lovely golf experience. I mean, clearly one of the best places in the world, and I thought it absolutely shined, and USA just came through clutch, and especially those singles matches last night.
Wagyu, I love that you brought up the 18th hole, because that's a hole that gets a lot of criticism out there. And I think mostly because you play 15, 16, 17, then you come to 18. But I think it's a cool little hole. Like, the more I've played it, the more I actually kind of like it. And the fact that you said, like, those guys were struggling so much with that tee shot. And it's just a 5-iron, and the fairway's not crazy narrow. You just got to hit it over the corner of that tree, and then you have the gap between the trees up at the green. But I loved how much trouble it gave those guys.
And the green complex itself on a golf course with extremely severe pitch back to front slopes on these greens, 18's probably the most severe. And I saw this one kid hitting his third, I think it was Stout, maybe in the singles matches, and he landed the ball 10 yards over the back of the 18th green, and it spun down to about 6 feet. No, it was the USAM champ. He spun it back down. Mason Howe, just above the hole, and had a putt to win the match. And he ended up running, it looked like 4 feet by, and the kid was like, I don't want to win this way, and gave him the putt. But Cypress had the Walker Cup back in the 80s, and it used to host the PGA Tour, one leg of it, but was not televised for that at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So this was the first time I ever saw it on television, and it was as breathtaking as I was hoping it would be.
And the caliber of play, I feel like, is just insane watching these kids. I mean, Mason Howell, you just mentioned, he's in high school. He just won the USAM. You can go down the list: Preston Stout, Ben James, name it, keep going. Jackson Kovven. Like, it just feels like the future of U.S. golf is unbelievable. Is there a guy? It doesn't have to be an amateur right now. It could even be a young pro or something like that. But is there a guy that stands out to you that's like, he's the next one up?
Well, I mean, obviously I would say Luke Clanton, but this Jackson Kovven, holy moly. I think Jackson Kovven's I think he's already got his card. He wants to go back for his junior year, probably his senior year at Auburn as well. Got his card through the PGA Tour U Accelerated. I think he's going to be the best young player we've seen in a generation. I think Jackson Kovven's got all the skills. I love his golf swing. I like his demeanor. I'm just, every time I watch him play, I'm impressed. And the ease in which these guys are going out and top 10ing in PGA Tour events, contending in PGA Tour events as amateurs is mind-blowing to me right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm very high on him. And then also, it's so funny to look at the team. You had 7 guys on the U.S. team ranked inside the top 10. You had a guy that was 13th, and then Stuart Hagestad was like 44th. And then the lowest ranked player, who was ranked 148th, was the U.S. Amateur champion, Mason Howell. He's 18 years old. And let me tell you something. I watched him all week at the USAM. I watched him both days. This kid can go. They sat him out Saturday morning. He played the last 3, was by far the best putter on either team, put on a clinic. Look out for this guy. He is going to be the real deal. I'm excited to see what he does at Augusta in the same group as Rory McIlroy.
And he's going to Georgia, at least committed as of now, to go play at Georgia. I mean, that team, they've got another kid from Georgia going on that team, is just stacked. I hope he takes the route of wanting to stay in college for a couple of years. I don't think I think Blades Brown's a great kid. I think having at least a couple of years in college where you can learn how to travel without your parents, where you can sort of get away from, you can sort of grow up. I think that's important maturation process for a golfer.
Couldn't agree more.
And also, it's not a bad deal when you're a top kid coming in that you can get paid now. So you get paid to go to college. And I don't know what a top golfer yields in terms of like NIL and stuff, but that ain't the worst gig. To be in college, to be the man and getting paid too. Like, there's no rush. I'd stay there forever.
Yeah, man, I think there's been some guys making up $250,000, $300,000, $400,000. Some of the top guys. So yeah, I think why not go make some cash, have some fun, learn, grow, figure out. I didn't know who I was until I went to college. I mean, it's an important part of growing up, man.
Got some cash in your pocket and a beautiful body.
And a beautiful bod. Could you imagine you during NIL? Oh my God, it wouldn't be fair.
All right, let's switch gears here to something all 3 of us love a lot, and that's football.
Drinking.
And Wagyu, I got to ask you here. Okay, your Carolina Panthers, Virginia Tech, they're an 0-2 start. Panthers lose their first one. Who gets a win first? Your Hokies or the Panthers?
I'm going to have to go with the Hokies. It's really frustrating right now. I mean, we had a tough opener at South Carolina in Atlanta, and then we had Vanderbilt at home in Blacksburg, and we've lost to Vanderbilt now 2 years in a row. It's quite disgusting. And I actually had this conversation with my son Graham yesterday. Every football team I root for is terrible. I'm in 3 fantasy leagues. I was 0-3 this week. I have no hope going into Monday night. And then I'm in this guillotine league that there's 17 teams in it, and the lowest point earner gets cut after each week. And so I'm clearly the low point earner. I'm the sport that I love so much. I love to watch. I devote so much time and money to this. And I just, it's not been good to me right now. And I'm distraught. The only thing I will say, Colt, I heard you talking about this weeks ago. I started before coming on with you guys today. I watched the first 3 episodes of America's Team on Netflix, and that's I guess I'm living in the past because that's the last time a team I cheered for actually won any sort of meaningful championship. And it felt pretty good to relive some of those glory days when I was 12 years old watching the Cowboys actually do something.
What a great series!
Ago.
What a great series that was.
Yeah, I can't wait to finish it. I'll probably finish it tonight.
Did you see, Sleaze, before you move on here, did you see this Instagram post that looked like rather serious? Is this kid with his head on the desk in a courtroom? Did you see this at all? Okay,
no,
so it looked like a real serious picture. This kid's got his head on the desk in a courtroom, lawyer, got his hand on his back, and this whole story is kind of long, and it sucked me in because I was interested to see what it was. But it was like Dallas courtroom. This kid is trying to like move away from his parents because they beat him all the time, and they're trying to find another family member to raise him and all this. He's like 10 years old, and he goes, the aunt, they say the aunt's going to take care of him. He's like, no, I don't want to go there either. She beats me as well. And then what about like these cousins and stuff? And like, no, they beat us. So it was like obvious that like the whole family is full of abuse. So we decided to put him with the Dallas Cowboys because they can't beat anybody. I was like, this serious thing. And then all of a sudden, boom, at the end, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was actually feeling sorry for this kid for a second.
You know, the best player on my fantasy team is the Denver Broncos defense, Sleaze.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hold on to them. Do not trade them away. That'll be it. They're going to get you some points.
I won't. They're my highest point total. I have Joe Burrow as my quarterback. So
you're 0-3 in your leagues, and you got guillotined in the other one already.
Yeah. The only good thing about the guillotine, my wife was giving me a hard time about, oh, you're really going to do this much fantasy football this fall, and at least now I'm out of one of the leagues, so I don't have to devote any time to that one.
Oh, that is good. It's tough to manage 3 rosters, dude. I mean, you're only one man. You got 3 rosters. You got to be on TV. You got to recreate shots. You got a lot of shit going on.
Right.
Busy man.
You know? He's a man of the people. How much more do you get recognized now? Because I feel like you're beloved by everyone. Like I said, like they live vicariously through you with your shot recreations and stuff like that. How much more do you get recognized now when you go out versus when you were only just a 3-time winner on the PGA Tour?
It's not even close. It's probably 1,000 times more than ever before, and it's been pretty awesome. And people come up and they're like, "I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing for golf." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, it's so weird that you're thanking me, but it just I think it hits home watching people struggle with their golf game, and I'm honored to be in the position I'm in, and that people actually like it and enjoy it. And I say this all the time though. I wish people used to love to watch me skull and shank chips when I was playing the PGA Tour. Maybe I would have had some galleries out there because that's what they would have seen when I was actually playing on the tour.
No,
Who knows? All you had to do is almost kill a European lady to get a bunch of fans, you know? That's all it takes.
No, you do an awesome job, man. It's so much fun to watch. I always have been a fan of live from. I love the behind the scenes stuff. And when you came on and started recreating the shots, it's beautiful. Y'all hit a home run with that.
Well, thank you. I can't take much of the credit. I'm going to give that to Matt Haggerty, my studio boss up there in Stamford, Connecticut. He's the man, and it's his brainchild.
It's awesome, man. Something we all look forward to every single day during live. One last thing for me before we get out of here. I don't know if you noticed a couple weeks ago, our good friend the Sleaze here had a little something above his lip for quite some time.
I did.
Trying to replicate the Johnson Wagner. Did you happen to see it? And what kind of grade would you give it?
I didn't see it, but he and I did radio right after he shaved it. I was filling in for you the day you were doing Keegan's Ryder Cup thing, and I heard about this. I need to see a picture, but he said he only had it for like a week. So there's no way to give a mustache a grade over a C- if you only keep it for a week. To properly grade it, like to give it a proper like Dave Portnoy pizza score, I'm going to need to see sleeves. I'm going to need to see a month of growth.
Let's do it, Sleaze.
That's a lot.
Come on.
That's a commitment. I'll send you a picture. Just don't open it around your wife, dude. It's going to be mayhem. And the only reason I cut it is, dude, I couldn't go out anymore. Everyone was like, Johnson, Wagyu. And I was like, no, it's me. It's Sleaze. I'm sorry, but I'll give you his phone number. I was getting mobbed, dude. They all thought I was you. I just carried my wedge around with me.
Slightly different weight class. I think I outweigh you by double your pounds.
Yeah, more or less. Other than that, though, identical. I will say the Filtrum, it's thick.
The
with
Filtrum.
2 C's. You got a nice Filtrum.
I appreciate it. Brendan DeYoung, my radio partner, he likes to make fun of me that he says I diet, and I've never dyed anything in my life. I know I'm rubbing my nose out. It makes it look like I'm lying, but I got a bunch of grays that occasionally get cut out. But yeah, I don't diet, and I'm very blessed with dark hair. If I could grow a beard, I would. I don't have any facial hair any place else other than my mustache.
Yeah, you and Ryan Day, no dye.
I knew you were going to say that, Colt. That's a great comp. But
awesome, man. Well, dude, we thank you so much. Oh, one last thing. Let me just go ahead and put you on the spot right here. Ryder Cup prediction: who wins? What's the score?
I'm going to stay true to where I've been saying, and I'm hoping this is a little bit of reverse psychology. But I'm going European 15.5 to 12.5.
Whoa, boy.
I know.
All right.
I know. It's reverse psychology.
Yeah, that's smart. I like that too.
Bonjour.
I got 28-0 Europe.
Bonjour. They're going to boo your ass right out of America.
I know. It's been a tough pill to swallow. I think the American team, if they listen to this, they're not going to do walk and talks with me on Thursday. So I maybe should change my mind, but I'm sticking to my guns.
I love it, dude. Well, this has been great, man. Always good to catch up with you. I can't wait for episode 3 of Subpar with Wagyu.
Yes.
Me too, guys. Thank y'all.
Thank
you, Wagyu. See you, buddy.
All right, that was our man Johnson Wagner joining us on Subpar. So much fun catching up with him. One of my favorite people in the world of golf, Sleaze. He's got a little stress, though. I asked him, who gets a win first, is Carolina Panthers or is Virginia Tech Hokies? I'm actually up here, flew into the Roanoke Blacksburg Airport. Things are not good in these parts right here. They just fired their coach after an 0-3 start. Just got dump trucked by Old Dominion.
Old Dominion, they're a power. They're a powerhouse.
I don't know which one of his teams is going to get a win first, if I'm being totally honest.
That's dark times for him right now. If you're a Carolina guy that happened to go to Virginia Tech, that Virginia Tech, by the way, now when coaches leave, kids can hit the portal. That ain't gonna, they're going to be gonzo. That's a big ship to turn around. So, yeah, condolences to Wagyu. We'll take him on the Broncos if he wants to just hop on a bandwagon.
He's a sneaky Cowboy fan, so they're not any good either. But whatever, we're 1-1. We got to win at least. But Wagyu, man, he does such a great job on TV. The reenactments are just fantastic. I love it. That's one of the things I most look forward to every week when Live From is on site. But how about him? He's not too high on Team USA right now heading into the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, you look at the betting markets, it's like we're minus 140 and all this stuff. I don't know how you handicap Bethpage, a home field in golf, because you don't really ever have home field in golf, but it feels like a coin flip looking at this. Even a couple of their guys that you maybe thought were like quote unquote not at their best, or like the weak link of the European team, like Matt Fitzpatrick starting to play great now. I don't know. Like for us to be minus 140 feels like a lot. I think this is a toss up. I would love to see this thing come down to the wire. Obviously, with the U.S. getting that thing at the end.
Absolutely. But Wagyu, keep doing what you're doing. We love you. And for everyone out there listening, it's time for y'all to update your wardrobe a little bit. Because why blend in when you can stand out? I just put together some custom birdie juice gear, and the whole thing was effortless. Top-notch quality, perfect fit. Now it's your turn. Build your own polos, hoodies, hats, and more with the golf brands you already know and love. All customized with the logos that rep your game. Skip the generic stuff. Head to shop.golf.com and make your own signature look. That's shop.golf.com.
Gifts for everyone. I got a little gift coming, BG. I'm headed up just in a couple days making my return to the world after the surgery. I got the Cow Club member guest with our good friend Brian Muddy Waters.
Pout, pout.
We'll be bringing him a little birdie juice gear up there, but man, I'm pumped to go back to that place. One of the greats too, by the way.
Make sure you tell him that you don't want to caddy. You don't want to carry your own bag. You want the push carts like he gave me last time I was out there. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. Waters, you cheap ass. Get us some caddies, okay? I ain't pushing carts. I ain't doing sled drills, getting ready for training camp, okay?
I ain't doing any of that. Doctor's orders, by the way. Doctor, I gotta trust doctors. Dude, they tell me, you got to be in a cart if you're gonna play. You can do it. Hey, who am I to question a doctor? You know?
got a great excuse actually right now. You get
a tough one.
Little handicap flag in the cart. Sorry guys, can't walk.
What do you want me to do?
To the green. Yeah.
Tear my sack open out here on grounds? You don't want that.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm actually jealous you can take a cart all the way. The place is a freaking hike out there.
It's a beast.
Man, 3 days with pout. You're going to come back with so much negative energy.
And purple teeth.
Yeah,
purple teeth as well. Hopefully they have that little card wizard that they have out there coming back.
That's going to be a fun one.
He's a special one. It's going to be good. Shout out to all of our sponsors, everyone that's involved with the show, including our boys over at Zone Nicotine. But warning, this product contains nicotine, and it is an addictive chemical. Underage sale is prohibited. Listen, when I need to dial things in on the course, I go with Zone Nicotine Pouches. Why? 1, stronger nicotine intensity. The others aren't even close. And 2, better flavors. And 3, they last longer. They're more comfortable than any pouch out there. My go-to is the 9 milli Spearmint. They make 7 flavors, though, both 6 and 9 milligrams. These things are a game changer. By the way, 20 pouches per can versus 15 like the other guys offer. It's a no-brainer. Check them out. I do not play 18 holes without at least 1 can of Zone in my bag. You want Zone pouches at a discount and mailed right to your door? Head to nicokick.com and enter code Subpar20 at checkout for an additional 20% off. Get zoned in.
Well done.
Watch 15 hours of football.
Yeah, get that swelling down. And let's get back to action, all right?
It's tender. Tender is the
all
way
right,
I would describe it.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks to Wagyu for joining us. That's going to do it for us. We'll talk to you on next week's Subpar.